Hello, hello, hello. I love doing these email vlogs. I've got some kind of funky lighting in the background. But as you know, Sarah V here, coming on for your weekly vlog. I think we're calling them video blogs. Um, but I wanted to come on here, of course, for your weekly email, vlog mail, and just kind of talk to you about something that has been coming up for me. If you had read the email on Friday, I was talking about, I was really feeling some like deep energy flow through me as I returned from California. I was out there seeing my cutie pie granddaughter. But I really was feeling some energy coming back from California. And, it kind of stirred something in me that I kind of want to share to you. When I was sitting on the shuttle bus going back to my car, I noticed that there were, of course, an entire bus filled with family, the family coming back from vacation, and they were all chattering and giggling together. And all of a sudden, I like tears just like welled up in my eyes. And I started to kind of, definitely the tears were flowing, which really is about me healing my soul. When we cry, it is actually a really important thing. Way back when, I know that in my family of origin, crying was a sense of weakness. We don't cry, only babies cry. And I didn't realize that actually crying heals your soul. And boy, is my soul healed, because I have cried and cried and cried, my whole way through this journey. But crying has kind of a different meaning to me now. It tells me that there is something else that I am trying to heal within myself. And I remember I'll just go back a little bit to why I was crying. What I was noticing. Remember that we have a trigger, which was me seeing all these children, these families all giggling together, and me by myself. That has been kind of what I've chosen. That has been my lifestyle. I travel by myself when I'm not with my partner. And I noticed that then, you have the trigger, you then feel the emotion kind of bubbling up in your stomach, or in your, whatever this chakra that you have been holding these stories. And that time I felt it in my heart. And then I noticed, like, what were the thoughts that I was thinking about? What were the messages that I was internally telling myself? And I do recall because I'm so good at this now, this is all about, the healing. And the stories that I was telling myself was that, oh, you don't have a family anymore. You're so selfish. You left, my marriage, of 32 years. And I noticed, like, was success, really worth it? Like, you gave up your family for success. And I really had to kind of question that a little bit. And of course I had, I have like 3 mentors that helped me to kind of reframe these old beliefs. Because did I really leave my marriage for success? No. The answer is no. The old story, the limiting story, told me that I did, and I didn't. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we as women sometimes just don't listen to our intuition. We don't listen to our soul. We are basically operating on our, in our thoughts, in our ego, in that injured child, male or female. And the grown-up version of me knows that the reason why I remove myself from a situation is because I was finally listening to myself. I won't get into all the details about my marriage. That's going to be a book actually about, uncoupling and relationships. But what I was thinking about is, and I was I was working with one of my coaches, my neuro-linguistic programming coach. She's amazing. And she kind of reminded me, she says, if you were standing on stage and you were trying to explain how you felt, in the confines of your marriage. And, that was my identity, like being in a marriage and being a mom was my identity. When we know that that's just what you do, and it is not about who you are. Yes, it's what you do, but I had it backwards. And so because I was believing all that, I stayed in a place where I didn't feel emotionally lifted. I felt confined, like I couldn't grow into the woman that I've become now. And I just always want to preface that my former husband and we are creating a completely different, amicable, loving, supportive relationship outside of the confines of the normal idea of what society says what marriage is. I still say I love you to him. We talk about the kids. I was having this really emotional day on Thursday, and no, wait, where are we? No, Wednesday. Today is Thursday. I'm recording this on Thursday. And I was really, really having this like major sadness. Like it was so deep. Like, and I'm really good at facing my feelings, but this was so deep in my core. And who did I call? Because I had to talk to him about something else, but I called him. And we had a conversation because no matter what, he's known me for the longest time that anybody will, or perhaps, I don't know, maybe I'll be with someone for 30 some years, but I'll be 192. No, that's not true. I'll be 59 this month. So maybe like 89. So I, finally, the reason why we actually amicably agreed that we were not living our best lives together. We now are living our best lives apart, but we are still connected, I guess not as a couple, but as two human beings that still love one another. But going back to, this idea that I left so that I could be a success. I was already a success in my business, and well, mostly in my family, but I was always identifying that I wasn't a success because I didn't have, the financial income or the success in my business. But really, where I was a success was that I was finally starting to listen to myself. I was listening to that inner knowing of, where the majority of us, we ignore. And I'll just kind of give you a little analogy that I thought was really powerful, is I felt, if you can just imagine a oak tree, this massive, beautiful, powerful oak tree with amazing limbs and leaves and just this beautiful entity of nature. Well, in the confines of where I was, in my limitations, and my husband wasn't doing anything at that time, but I felt in my being that I felt like a little acorn that was planted in a little dixie cup, and I couldn't grow. I couldn't be this woman that I have been working on a daily basis, every single day. I couldn't be her. I couldn't spread my wings because there was so much limited energy around me, not just from, my former husband, inside of me. Like I had all these like limitations, these stories that I was believing and identifying with that didn't belong to me in the first place. I inherited this scarcity, this belief about, what I could or couldn't do, whether I was a failure. I inherited that. And I want you, as human beings, to understand that I would say 98% of stories that you tell yourself, limited ones, negative ones, are not yours. They belong to the, it's called intergenerational trauma of, generations before you, 3 generations. So I was suddenly feeling like I needed to grow. I needed to sprout. I needed to grow my limbs and grow my leaves and become this powerful woman that every single person, every one of you is. But because of these limitations, we stay in our little Dixie cup because it kind of feels safe. We can stay small so nobody sees us. Because, if you grow into a tree and you have, an imperfection, holy cow, someone is going to see that. And we are afraid that somebody's going to judge us. Well, I did take the leap. I did believe in myself enough. I listened, and you'll know my whole story in I Wish I'd Known, coming out in September. But you'll understand the steps that I had to take in order to become this. Things are starting to flow. I'm getting opportunities that I never thought that were possible. I won't go into, just follow my Facebook feed, and I'm starting to just energetically, completely shift the energy. My feeling inside has shifted. I would say 95%. There's always work to do. There's always that 5% or even more than that we get to constantly heal on a daily basis. But that story that I left my marriage because I wanted to be successful is, I'm sorry, I'm going to call BS on that. And that was a limitation to keep me small, keep me safe in that cute little Dixie cup. It's cute, no one really notices it, but I have now replanted. Wait, yeah, acorns are from oak trees. Yeah. So I have replanted that acorn in a absolutely massive place. Is it freaking scary? Oh my God. Yeah. But I have surrounded myself with the most supportive people that always have my back, that are always encouraging me. I, fill my body with really, really, really good food. I exercise every single day. I meditate. I am impeccable to my word. I have healed that injured little girl who believed that staying in the Dixie cup was safe. I didn't need to, no one needed to see it. Only my sister was able to be successful, not me, only my sister. So I'm offering this to you today because I want you to look in your life, feel in your life. Are you, just settling for mediocrity in your life? And I'm not talking about, leaving a marriage or whatever, but if you're feeling called to do that, but you feel like staying in that Dixie cup is going to benefit you in the long run, can I just tell you, well, maybe it's okay. And absolutely. And if you're happy with that, that's totally fine. But if you're feeling that little nudge, like you just feel so uncomfortable there, take a look. Where is it that you can start expanding into the women and the men that we were put on this earth to be? I knew back then, now that I'm out of it and I'm really in this flow, that I was supposed to be there because I raised 4 magnificent children. I had a great, marriage at that time with my former husband. But there was something more. There was a calling that I felt inside, and I started to listen. So check where are you in this life where you feel scarce, where you feel afraid to take a leap, because it's your inner knowing. It is telling you, and it's scary as hell to listen, to finally listen to that, to let go of all the limited stories that you used to tell yourself. Like, I was held back by, I don't even remember them when I was in my marriage, but I know that there was like, oh, he'll get better. Oh, he'll change, I'll get it somehow. And it never did. And that is no fault of his, because he's on his own journey, but together it just wasn't working. And so I had to expand. I knew that there was more for me. So I really encourage you just to take a look. Is there a place where your limbs are trying to grow, but you're too afraid to take that step? And that is what we get when we heal. I know healing isn't like, a cute, sexy word. Transformation, manifestation, abundance is what you get when you heal. So think about that. And I would love to know, is there any place that you would like to transform in your life? It could be your health. It could be your relationships. It could be in your business, or finding a purpose, just feeling happier in your life. Those are your 4 areas. Could be spirituality as well. Where is it? Because the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything in your life. And now I am taking bigger leaps. I am committing 100%. I am getting the help that I need. I am investing money. So my limbs are, believe me, there's so much more, but my limbs are like growing. If you can just imagine yourself being a tree, your limbs are growing, your leaves and your beautiful buds on the flower. I guess, I don't know if oak trees have flowers, but you know what I mean. But everything starts to come alive when you heal, because you can transform and you can create abundance, and you live this like incredible life. Like, my life isn't, other than the actions that I'm taking, my life isn't that much different, except I'm feeling different. So I'm attracting all this stuff that's coming. Like, I have all these like amazing opportunities that are coming towards me now. And I'm not like, oh, I don't want, oh, that's no, it's like, I see it as like fertilizer for my tree, so think about it. And I always love to hear, I hear responses every week from someone, or more than one person. So I would love to know, like, where are you wanting to expand your branches and your leaves more in your life? I'd love to know. And thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see you next week.